Hello everyone, this tutorial I'll be showing you how to join your Wispweave projects together. Today we're going to be joining the square pieces together, but the rules will apply to all the Wispweave patterns that you'll see on my channel. The reason it will apply to all the Wispweave patterns is because they all have a very similar border. With the square, you can see that the border is the corner, and then it goes to this oriental design with the lump, and then back to the border. And it's these lumps and these corners that we're going to join together, like you see here, which I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to show you two methods how to join them, but as you can see with the other shapes, like the triangle, it has the same corner, bump, corner. Even with the circle, it has the corner, bumps, corners. And even with the oval, we have the corners, right? So some of them have lesser bumps, like this, like the circle for example. The bump isn't as high as the corner, so you may only be able to join the corners together, as opposed to the square where the bumps match the height of the corners. So it's very easy on how to do it. As you can see, I started this one together, and we're going to do that, okay? So we're going to join on the parts where the parts match. So when I put my pieces together, I want to see where I want to join it. I want to join it where the places match. So it matches at the corner, it matches this side here, the center, this side here, and it matches at the other corner. So I'm going to join the top corner, I'm going to join the second one, and I'm going to join the third peak. So let's begin with that. So we're going to do the join as you go method, and we're first going to, so here's my green piece, I've started it off, and I'm going to join this side to my red. So now I'm at the corner, I'm just going to get to the part where I need to join. So I'm going to first do my stitch, which is the picot, and in the pattern it says once you've done your picot, which I just did, you're going to single crochet back into this chain here. Instead of doing that, we're going to first join it. So I'm going to join to here. So to do that, we're going to line it up, insert your hook into this corner of the red piece like this, and complete a slip stitch. Now you're going to continue working your green. So continue the corner, and the next peak is the second picot. So I'm making the second picot now, so I do mine first before I join. So I completed my picot. Now I'm going to join before I move to the next step. So join with the second picot like this with a slip stitch. Now I'm going to continue the corner based on the pattern, and then I'm going to get to my second piece where I'm going to join. So the second part where I'm going to join is this next picot here, which according to the pattern I know that it is coming up 1, 2, and I'm ready to create that picot now. So I'm going to create my picot first before I join it to the next picot. So here's my picot I just created. Now I'm going to join it to this picot with a slip stitch. Now I have to decide where I'm going to connect my next part. So I want to connect it here. So I'm going to here, 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 and then we're at our corner again. So the first part is here. So if I just count the stitches, I know it's slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's hard to see, but it's the fourth one from the slip stitch according to the pattern. So that means I'm going to work the border like normal until I get to that stop, until I get to that part. So I'm just working the border like normal until I get to the next part where I want to join it. Okay, so according to the pattern, I know this is a slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the one I want to join it at, and I'm just going to complete my stitch first. So that's my single crochet according to the pattern, and then I'm going to join it to the same spot on the red. So slip stitch 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my stitch right there. So I'm going to just slip stitch. Now I'm going to continue till I want to get to the center here. So continue working in the pattern. So in the center piece here, the one I want to do it is the fourth stitch. So there's 7 single crochet here. It's the fourth one, the middle one of the 7 that I want to join it. then the fourth one. So I always complete my stitch first and then slip stitch into the same one on the opposite project. So 4 right here in the middle, that's the one I want. Slip stitch and continue your project. So that's how it is. It's just very easy like that. So I'm going to get to the end and I will show you what my piece looks like when it's connected. So here we have my piece. I've connected it. Now once you block it, it will smoothen itself out, but as you can see, when we pull it tight, when we pull it apart, we can see that we have these wonderful designs that the Wispweave design actually creates on the border. So we have these circular and then we have these diamond designs, which is really neat and unique to this project. So that's what I like about this project. You've got a lot of different elements going on. But as you can see, we have connected it to the places that we want, and all you have to do is just continue the border and you'll be finished. For any additional squares, you're going to connect it as you go where you want it to go. So if you're going to put a square here at the top, you're going to connect it here, continue the square. If you have 3 squares and you want to connect the 4th one, you're going to start it off, connect it to this one, 3rd one, and then you're going to finish it off. And that's how easy it is to connect using the join as you go method. Now I'm going to show you how to do a different method, which is the mesh method. So here we are for the second way of joining it. This is the mesh design. As you can see, it creates a mesh in between each square, which actually is quite nice as well. So both designs will depend on your personal preferences. For the mesh design, it's not a join as we go. We're going to finish both squares and then we're going to put the mesh in between afterwards. So I'm joining the mesh parts to the exact same spots as I had before, the parts that I wanted to join in the previous method. So we have the corners, we have the middle, and then we have the corners. The mesh, it'll be up to you where you want to put the mesh. You can always add more strings in between if that's what you like. Now each string is a double crochet. Okay, let me show you how to do this, and once you understand how to do this, you can create it for any of the other Wispweave patterns as well. Okay, so to start, we have our 2 finished pieces and we have my string here. So I'm going to insert it into the first part that I want to connect. So the corner of the first one, I'm going to insert my string into there and create a chain 2. So I want a double crochet. If I'm doing a double crochet, I chain 2. If I'm doing a treble crochet, I chain 3. So I chain 2 because I want to do a double crochet. That's how wide apart I want it to be. A double crochet length. Now I'm just going to connect it to the corner of the second one that I want to connect it to. So I'm going to do a double crochet into there. Like this. Now depending on the length until your next join section, you're going to do chains. So chain depending on the length of your join section. So typically my rule for this part is that I'm going to count how many stitches until my next join section, and then I'm going to subtract it by 2. So in this case it's very close, so I'm just going to chain 1, and then I'm just going to join into the next one. So I'm going to take the first one, do a double crochet into there, and then I'm going to double crochet directly into the second one. Same spot. Like this. And now I'm going to count how many I have till the next join spot. So I want to join it at this next peak, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches across. So I'm going to subtract by 2. I'm just going to do 2 like this. I'm going to join it into the first. I'm going to double crochet into the first. And then I'm going to double crochet into the second one that I want to join. Like this, and as you can see, it's starting to create itself. Now for the next one, I want to join mine over here, so the same spot as last time. So it's from the slip stitch that I have in this dip, 1, 2, 3, 4, this 4th stitch here. That's how I want to join. So if I'm going to count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it takes me 8 stitches to get to there. So I'm going to subtract 2, so that only gives me 6. So I'm going to chain 6. 6, and then I'm going to do a double crochet into that stitch that I want to join, and then I'm going to join it to the other green one, same spot, like this, like that. Now I want to join mine at the center of this lump here. So I'm going to count how many stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, 8 minus 2 is 6. I'm going to chain 6. And then I'm just going to do a double crochet into there. And a double crochet into the next one. Like that. So I'm just going to do the same thing for the opposite here. I'm going to count, join where I want to join, and I'm going to show you what it looks like at the end. Now here we are. I've completed my mesh design, and this is what it looks like. Now, of course, depending on the stitches that you do, the size that you create your stitches with, you may have larger stitches than me. And so, for example, if I use 6 in this tutorial for the length here, you might have to use 5 or 4 depending on how you do your own crochets, just so that it is nice. So it is going to be custom to you. And of course you can always add more lines here as you see fit on how your personal preference is. Now, but this is how it looks like at the end. Okay, so of course if you want to add more squares to it, all you have to do is, for example, if there's a square here, attach it here with the mesh design. And once again, if I'm doing double crochets for the length here, if it decreases down to here, it might be a bit longer to get to the center part, so you might have to do a treble crochet instead of a double crochet for these parts here. It'll be custom to your. Good example is this circle design. As you can see at the circle design, we have the peaks here, which are a lot taller than the center part here. If you want to join the center part to the mesh design as well, if you're joining the circle pieces together, do a double crochet for the peaks and then maybe a treble crochet for this center part here, just so that it has enough length to get to the mesh part in the center, the mesh part in the center. These are the two methods that I like to use to join it. Join as you go and the mesh method. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Check out my other videos on my channel. I do have other Wispweave designs. I have the square, circle, rectangle, oval, and other designs on my channel, so please check that out. I also have other doilies, custom table runners, and how to knit a man's sweater. Please check that out. Subscribe if you like. Thank you for watching.